Good morning, gang. Happy Saturday morning. So, for the last at least couple of months, we've been talking about the uptick in violence all around the country. I've told you stories about Walmart, Kroger, road rage, whatever it would be. By now you probably heard the story that Paul Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's husband, was attacked yesterday morning in his house by a guy with a hammer, okay? And this will tell you a little bit about how possible this is when you have somebody in a $1 million mansion who at 2 o'clock in the morning can get attacked, okay? It can happen to anybody. The problem comes with this is who can you trust? Because the stories just don't add up. Okay, this is where the political part of the prepping part comes into this violence. All right, you go back 10 years or so. Gabby Giffords was shot, and of course the media tried to spin it and say, oh, gee, this was a Republican attack on a Democrat or whatever. They tried to blame Sarah Palin. They tried to blame the Tea Party. Just the fact that Jared Lee Loughner was a complete psychopath who eventually pled guilty to, I think, 19 murders or something like that. Man, that was fine. Turned out it had no political motivation whatsoever. But that didn't get in the way of the narrative, okay? We don't have to talk about the Steve Scalise shooting, right? That was absolutely a political hit job, if you will. However, it was the other way around. That was a Bernie Sanders supporter who absolutely said he was trying to kill Republicans. That was purely political. But notice that was left trying to hurt the right, not the other way around. We don't have to get into Rand Paul getting his arm broken a couple of years back by his neighbor because he disagreed with Rand Paul, a Republican, his political beliefs. Democrat on Republican violence. Okay. Shall we talk about all the protesters getting up in politicians, Supreme Court justices' faces in restaurants? Okay. Shall we talk about Maxine Waters standing there telling people to get in their face? Shall we talk about Tim Ryan here in the last few weeks talking about killing the MAGA movement? Okay. Yeah. The political violence is being egged on by the left. However, y'all know as well as I do that they are great at projectionism. Accuse your opponent of doing exactly what you are doing. That's the Democratic way, okay? That's how they do things. So you go into looking at the attack on Paul Pelosi, all right? And the disgusting scumbags over at CNN yesterday instantly went to this is because of the rhetoric on Fox News, this is because of MAGA Republicans, yada, yada, yada. That was instantly what they went into. No proof whatsoever, but that was CNN's spin on this story, okay? And you wonder why they have about 12 viewers, okay? Not to be taken aback from it, but the illustrious moron sitting in the White House right now blamed Republicans for the attack on Paul Pelosi, all right? His quote, "This is reported. I can't guarantee it, and I can't tell you where it's being reported. The chant was, 'Where's Nancy? Where's Nancy? Where's Nancy?'" He says, It's reported the same chant was used by this guy that they have in custody that was used on January 6th in the attack on the U.S. Capitol. I'm not making this up. Where's Nancy? that's a chant, sorry, where's my dog is not a chant either, okay? Biden came out and said this is an attack. He put the blame squarely on Republicans, okay? His other quote, "What makes us think that one party can talk about stolen elections, COVID being a hoax? It's all a bunch of lies and not affect people who might not be so well balanced. Enough is enough is enough," he said. Okay. Joe, like everything else, you might want to get some facts for a change, okay? Let's take a look at a few things. Let's look at this picture. This is a picture of the perpetrator's house. If you notice there is a rainbow flag with a marijuana leaf in the field, okay? If you look real close, you will see there is a handwritten Black Lives Matter sign there, okay? This guy is an avowed liberal. I don't think he's looking too much at MAGA as his influence, okay? But it gets a little bit more interesting than just that. I want to give you this picture. This is a picture of where the house was broken into. Now, if you look there in the center bottom of the picture, you will see glass on the step. It's supposedly how he broke into the house. Somebody please tell me this. Have you ever broken a window? If you're on the outside trying to get in, where's the glass? It'd be on the inside of the house, wouldn't it? It's amazing how all the glass is on the outside. I don't know. Just very, very basic investigative stuff. But more than anything else, okay, was the 911 call.
Northern 4 car, A priority 910, 2640 Broadway, cross of Scott and Normandy. I have a 14-hour copy. RP stated that there's a male in the home and that he's going to wait for his wife. RP stated that he doesn't know who the male is, but he advised that his name is David and that he is a friend.
Now, that may have been a little difficult to hear, so I'll translate it here for you. RP, meaning reporting person. Paul Pelosi was the one that called the police. Okay, there's the first one. RP stated there's a male in the home and that he's going to wait for his wife. RP stated that he doesn't know who the male is, but advised that his name is David and that he is a friend. Now, read into that as you will, but he doesn't know who the person is, but he knows his name is David and he knows he's a friend. I don't know, could it be a hookup? Just saying, okay? This is San Francisco, after all. Now, how does this play out? Do I wish Paul Pelosi ill? No, I am disgusted by this act. I don't care about the politics in regards to that. I don't want to see anybody attacked, hurt like this whatsoever. And I wish Paul Pelosi a speedy recovery, and I hope to God that he is okay from this. I hope to God that they take this perpetrator and string him up by the balls and beat him with a cattle prod for the rest of his life in prison, okay? I have no respect whatsoever for people that do violent things like this, especially to elderly people. But the lies that are put out trying to persuade people to believe in something are just as disgusting as the act itself, okay? Like I said, the scumbags at CNN, I mean, they should be disbarred, whatever you would be, from media forever, okay, for stuff like this. I mean, pick some of these, Dan Rather or Brian Williams or anybody who lied and lied and lied, and finally they got busted and people said, you're gone, okay? Take the Anderson Coopers and stuff like this who are doing the same thing on this one, and just get rid of them, okay? They are despicable. But so is your president saying the same thing. If Washington isn't willing to get the facts before running their mouth on something as little as this, okay? For Paul Pelosi, obviously, it's not little, all right? If they're not willing to get the facts on something as little as this, how do you think they're going to treat something bigger? Riots? Oh, they lied about those. Ukraine? Oh, they lied about that. Picks up the economy. Oh, they lied about that. The border. Oh, they lied about that. When do we trust people? When do we trust the stories that we get from our media, who's supposed to be the watchdogs of Washington? Not the lapdogs, okay? They're supposed to be watchdogs. How are we supposed to trust anybody? The problem is this. Nobody thinks, or a lot of people think this is all started with the Biden administration. Some people say this goes back to the Obama administration. I'll say this goes all the way back to the LBJ administration. Ever since you had the liberalization of the education system, we no longer teach kids morals, civics, the truth, okay? You don't like history? Rewrite it. I mean, that's what our schools teach at this point, okay? Revisionist history. We have dumbed down the population of this country so bad. My generation's probably the last one, the Gen Xers are probably the last one to at least get a decent public education. I won't say necessarily good, but after me, Gen Y, Gen Z, the millennials, anything like that, forget it. I mean, they didn't get an education, they got an indoctrination. And the scary part is, those people are the future leaders, if there's anything left of this country. You really need to pay attention to what's going on around you. Head on a swivel, situational awareness. Paul Pelosi was 82 years old. How this guy got into his house? Was it a tryst? Don't know, okay? But amazing how the perpetrator was standing in his underwear alone, and the attack didn't happen until the police got there. I mean, the attack was right in front of the cops, okay? Yeah, something else that they don't tell you. You think it was beforehand. No, it wasn't, okay? Guys, be careful. Watch everything with a very, very sharp eye, because things happen in nanoseconds, in the blink of an eye. And here's a man who's going through brain surgery now after getting beat with, wait for it, an assault hammer. And this is what you got coming, that they're going to lie about this. Democracy dies in darkness? Nah. Democracy died in liberalism, because liberalism is darkness. Pinball out.